For centuries, theologians have said that the United States of America is not mentioned in the Bible. They are wrong. While the name isn't there, the identity of this modern superpower is hidden in plain sight, described by the prophets through a powerful symbol, a great eagle with mighty wings. This isn't a theory, it is a prophetic identity we are about to reveal. Before we can identify America, we must understand the language of the prophets. The Bible often uses animals to symbolize nations. In Daniel chapter 7, a lion with eagle's wings represented Babylon. A bear represented Medo-Persia. A swift, four-winged leopard represented Greece. And a terrifying beast with iron teeth symbolized Rome. This is a divine code. Understanding this code is essential to unlocking end times prophecy. And one of the most powerful symbols God uses is the eagle. Think of its natural characteristics. It is a symbol of immense power, of majesty, of soaring at altitudes that give it a perspective no other creature has. It is swift, decisive, and fiercely protective of its young. These are the very attributes God imbues into the symbol of the great eagle. This symbolism is established at the very birth of the nation of Israel. After God delivered them from Egypt, he described his own actions with this exact image. In Exodus chapter 19, God says, "You yourselves have seen what I did to Egypt and how I carried you on eagle's wings and brought you to myself." Here, the eagle's wings represent a mighty, swift, and powerful force used by God to rescue his people from oppression and carry them to safety. Later, in Deuteronomy 32, Moses uses the same imagery to describe God's tender care, like an eagle that stirs up its nest and hovers over its young, that spreads its wings to catch them and carries them aloft. To summarize, from the very beginning, the eagle has been God's symbol for a great power that rescues, protects, and nurtures his people. For centuries, the symbol of the eagle's wings was primarily a look back at God's deliverance of Israel from Egypt. But in the final book of the Bible, the book of Revelation, this symbol reappears in a crucial future tense prophecy. In chapter 12, the Apostle John sees a woman clothed with the sun, with the moon under her feet and a crown of 12 stars on her head. This is not random imagery. It is a direct reference to the Old Testament. In Genesis, Joseph had a dream where the sun, moon, and 11 stars bowed down to him. His father Jacob immediately interpreted this to mean himself, the sun, Joseph's mother, the moon, and his 11 brothers, the stars. The woman with the crown of 12 stars, therefore, is an unmistakable symbol for the nation of Israel, the complete family of the 12 tribes. The vision shows this woman, Israel, being pursued by a great red dragon, identified as Satan, who seeks to destroy her after he fails to destroy her male child, the Messiah. She flees into the wilderness to a place prepared by God where she will be protected for a very specific period, 1,260 days, also referred to as a time, times, and half a time, or 42 months. This is exactly 3.5 years, the second half of the Great Tribulation, which begins after the Antichrist breaks his covenant and reveals his true nature. It is during this period of most intense persecution that the prophecy is given. Revelation 12:14 says, "The woman was given the 2 wings of a great eagle, so that she might fly to the place prepared for her in the wilderness, out of the serpent's reach." The symbol is consistent. A great eagle-like power will be used by God to rescue and protect Israel during the darkest days the world has ever known. So the prophecy in Revelation 12 points to a great eagle-like superpower that will provide protection and refuge for Israel during its darkest hour. The question then becomes, which nation on earth today fits this description? The symbolism is as stunning as it is specific. In all of modern history, only one superpower has chosen the eagle as its national symbol: the United States of America. From the Great Seal of the United States to its currency and military insignia, the bald eagle is the definitive emblem of American power and identity. Some of the earliest proposed designs for the seal even included overtly biblical imagery, such as the Israelites crossing the Red Sea. This shows that the founders themselves viewed America through the lens of a new promised land delivered from an old-world pharaoh. But the connection goes far deeper than a symbol. We must look at the undeniable historical actions. Since Israel's rebirth in 1948, the United States has acted as its primary defender. America has provided hundreds of billions of dollars in aid, making Israel the largest cumulative recipient of U.S. foreign aid since World War II. This support is not just financial, it's technological. The U.S. has been instrumental in funding and co-developing Israel's multi-layered missile defense shield, from the short-range Iron Dome to the long-range Arrow systems. This protection has been most critical during moments of existential threat. During the 1973 Yom Kippur War, when Israel was on the brink of being overwhelmed, a massive emergency airlift of American military supplies, codenamed Operation Nickelgrass, was a decisive factor in turning the tide of the war. Time and again, through military aid and diplomatic vetoes at the UN, the United States has uniquely fulfilled the role of a great power carrying Israel on eagle's wings.
The evidence we've laid out is compelling. But is there a biblical reason why America would be destined for this role? Proponents of a fascinating, though controversial, theory point to a shared ancestry rooted in the lost tribes of Israel. This theory begins with the prophecies spoken over the sons of Joseph, Ephraim and Manasseh. In Genesis 48, Jacob, Israel, gives the greater blessing to the younger son, Ephraim, declaring his descendants will become a melo hagoyim, a multitude of nations, or a company of nations. Later, in Deuteronomy 33, Moses blesses the tribe of Joseph with incredible prosperity and with military might like a firstborn bull, whose horns will push the peoples to the ends of the earth. Proponents of this theory believe that after the northern kingdom was scattered by Assyria, many of the Israelites, particularly from the leading tribe of Ephraim, began a long, centuries-long migration northwest. They argue these exiles became known to history as the Scythians and Cimmerians, who migrated from the Black Sea region up through the Caucasus Mountains and into Europe, eventually becoming the Anglo-Saxon, Celtic, and Germanic peoples who settled Great Britain. According to this view, the British Empire, which grew into a global company of nations, the Commonwealth, was the literal fulfillment of the prophecy given to Ephraim. The United States, as the most prominent and powerful nation to emerge from Great Britain, therefore inherited this Ephraimite identity. If true, it means America's protective role over the Jewish people, Judah, is not a mere political alliance, but a prophesied end-times family reunion where one brother is supernaturally positioned to protect the other.
So if America is the prophesied great eagle, does the Bible say anything about its ultimate fate? The scriptures are consistent with a powerful warning. God raises up nations, but he also brings them down, especially when they turn from him in pride. Proverbs 16 states, "Pride goes before destruction, a haughty spirit before a fall." This principle applies to all the great empires of the Bible, from Egypt to Babylon. Many who hold to the eagle identity for America point to an ominous prophecy in Isaiah chapter 18. The prophet describes a powerful nation beyond the rivers of Cush, a people tall and smooth-skinned, feared far and wide, and warns of a time when a banner is raised and a trumpet is blown, signaling a divine judgment where this nation is pruned like a vine. But there is another, even more sobering prophetic identity that some scholars have controversially attributed to America: the entity known as Mystery Babylon in the book of Revelation. While the original Babylon was a literal city, Revelation describes a final global superpower that embodies its spirit. This entity is described as the world's great economic engine, through whom the merchants of the earth grew rich. It is a cultural behemoth that intoxicates the nations, and a military superpower known as the hammer of the whole earth. Many argue that no nation in history fits this description of global economic, cultural, and military dominance more perfectly than the United States. But the prophecy ends in catastrophic judgment. Revelation 18 describes it as its sudden and total destruction, saying, "In 1 hour she has been laid waste." This suggests America's prophetic identity may be a tragic one, first used as the great eagle to rescue Israel, but later, because of its own wealth and pride, facing judgment as the final Babylon.
So, what is America's true biblical identity? The scriptural clues point in two seemingly opposite directions. On one hand, we have the great eagle of Revelation 12, a powerful nation symbolized by the eagle that rescues and protects Israel in her darkest hour. The historical relationship between the United States and Israel, from its founding to its modern military support, fits this description with stunning accuracy. This protective role is deepened by the theory that America, through its Anglo-Saxon heritage, is a descendant of the lost tribe of Ephraim, fulfilling a divine, familial duty to protect its brother Judah. But on the other hand, the Bible gives a chilling description of a final global superpower called Mystery Babylon. This nation is the engine of the world's economy, a cultural behemoth, and a military hammer that dwells in prideful security. Many of these characteristics also point directly to the modern United States. How can both be true? Many prophecy scholars believe these are not two different identities, but two phases of a single tragic destiny. It's possible that America first fulfills its role as the great eagle, protecting God's people, but then, due to the immense pride and moral decay that so often accompanies superpower status, it later morphs into the spirit of Mystery Babylon, thus becoming subject to God's final fiery judgment. The protector becomes the judged. So, when you look at the American flag, will you only see stars and stripes? Or will you now see the shadow of an eagle's wings and the ghost of Babylon? The Bible suggests that the world's greatest power has a profound biblical destiny. The only question that remains is, which destiny will it choose?
This briefing is now complete, but the investigation never ends. To ensure you receive all future declassifications, be sure to subscribe and activate the notification bell. Like this video to signal its importance, and share it with others who are ready to look beyond the headlines. Leave your own intel in the comments below, because there is still much more to declassify.